Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, let's get this cleared up because this is something that's been catching like wildfire around the XRP community, and you know, obviously this is starting to get completely out of control, so I just want to make sure that people are on the same page and actually understand what the deal is here. So we have here a post on the US Securities and Exchange Commission, i.e. the SEC. And it says comprehensive proposal, XRP as a strategic financial asset for the US. And so, you know, this has obviously come out and people think that the SEC have released this as their kind of publication in regards to XRP and how it's going to be used in the future. It's completely wrong. So I just want to quickly get this done and dusted and out the way, because once again, this kind of stuff, once this kind of stuff comes out, you get these influencers who just run with this stuff and they create narratives, and it just gets out of control. And you know, this is where, like, as I say, man, I've accepted that this kind of content for me isn't going to bring me a lot of views, because obviously people would rather believe the fairy tale, but I just want to push the truth. And this is what I find frustrating, because you've got these influencers who are just making major bucks over this kind of stuff, and they're blatantly misleading you, and it's just so disingenuous. I'm really against it, because for me, the thing is that when people believe this stuff, they start to invest differently, right? Like if they see this and think this is really true, they might be thinking, hey, I need to buy as much XRP as I can. And that's not to say that XRP isn't an asset worth investing in, but it's to say, hey, maybe some of the stuff that you're seeing isn't necessarily accurate, and you're using your actual investing strategy wrong based on this information. So anyway, let's get to it. So I'm actually going to just name some names of people who've been putting this out, because I think it needs to be addressed, to be honest with you. So you've got here Jack the Rippler, and I'll be honest with you, I've seen Jack the Rippler around for a long time in the XRP community. He's a complete hype poster. He pushes things that are not accurate. He creates narratives that are wrong. That's just plain and simply what he does. So he's put breaking. The SEC just published a document mentioning the replacement of the SWIFT system with XRP. Now, this is one thing that I will say with X that's come now that I think I'm really grateful that they've put this in, because it helps to filter out a lot of the nonsense. So straight away, you've got here, readers added context they thought people might want to know. Anyone can submit proposals and comments to the SEC within a short review time. It's posted on the website. This is not a document authored by the SEC itself regarding an XRP strategic reserve. Thank you. So look, what you've just got to understand with this is just somebody submitting a proposal, right? I could literally go and submit a proposal to the SEC if I wanted to, right? I could say, hey, you know, this is why XRP should be used by all the banks, and this is why XRP should be used as a US strategic reserve instead of Bitcoin. I can make these proposals. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. These are just my thoughts, right? So look, I'll go as far as to say this. Does it mean that the SEC could take this on board? Yeah, it does, but the thing is that people are running with this like it's a matter of fact. Like here, Jack the Rippler, he's saying the SEC published this. No, they didn't. No, they didn't at all. So this is where I have to like come in and say, let's clear up the nonsense with this and just get to the real deal of this. So the guy who published this, his name is Maximilian Storginger or something like that, I believe. And he's the guy who's made the proposal. Now, there was actually a proposal done a little while back that I covered as well, and I can't remember if I released the video or not. If I find it, I'll probably release it if I haven't done it, but I had to clear up that as well, because once again, it was somebody making a proposal and people thinking that this is literally matter of fact when it's just absolutely not. And so you've got to understand, when it comes to these proposals, you've got to start just doing a bit more digging. Like, and this is why I say, like, even with myself, I've told you guys, do your own due diligence as well. I'm not saying don't listen to like myself and even others. Like even if you want to listen to the hype posters, okay, cool. If you like the hype influencers who talk about all this crazy stuff, okay, cool. But what I'm saying is go and just do some research afterwards to see how accurate it is what they're saying, right? Because there's people creating videos off the back of this and making out like this stuff's like factual. And at the end of the day, it's just not. It just really isn't. And so here's one guy you've got here, Jack the Rippler, who's posted it. Absolutely inaccurate. Let me follow down and see what else we've got. So Bank XRP, he's just put comprehensive proposal, which is fair enough. I don't think there's actually anything wrong with that, because he's clearly said it's just a proposal. He's not making out like it's done by the SEC or anything like that. That's fair enough. I've got no issue with that. breaking, the SEC has released a comprehensive proposal of XRP as a strategic financial asset for the US. That's completely incorrect. The SEC have not released this at all. Someone has put a proposal on their website. So again, that's wrong. Here we go. We've got Brett, who's Brett Crypto. Kaboom. The SEC has put forward the idea of using XRP as a strategic financial asset for the US. Again, completely incorrect. It's not the SEC who've put this forward. Here we go. We've got Chad Steingraber. And he's put holy S and then XRP from the SEC. It's not from the SEC, right? It's not from the SEC. This is just someone who's put a proposal forward. So again, that's completely inaccurate. Now, we've got here Paul Barron, and this one I'm quite surprised about because Paul Barron's quite a big media personality. Like, he's not just like a YouTuber as far as I'm aware, like he's quite big. And he's put in response to the Jack the Ripper's post, he's put, it's happening. Now, look, I will say this. I think with Paul Barron, I don't think he's trying to do hype here. I just don't think he's done any fact checking. He's just seen this post and he's took it at face value. He's assumed that the SEC haven't really published this. And so then Paul Barron's just put, yeah, it's happening. That's what I think's happened here. But all I will say is, like, with all due respect to Paul Barron, I'm surprised he hasn't done a bit of fact checking before he would say something like this, because it doesn't look great when you're here co-signing what is blatantly wrong and easily provably wrong. And even underneath, you've got here like the reader's context underneath the post, where it says like anyone can submit comments and proposals to the SEC. So like you've literally got that right there, and he's still just posted it's happening. So I'm a bit surprised at that, to be honest with you. But yeah, like I do think with him, I don't think it's so much that he just wants to, push hype. I think it was more just ignorance of not actually doing any like fact checking beforehand. So like that's just a few people who we've got here. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of people on YouTube who've been covering it as well. Now, I'm not going to call people out on YouTube, if I'll be honest with you, just simply because I've not watched the videos. So, for example, I will be putting my video out about this, but it's not going to be me hyping it up. So I could look at someone's video thinking, yeah, they've covered it, but it could be that when I actually listen to it, they've said, look, this is inaccurate. So I'm not going to just, call out people like that. I'm calling out people that I can factually show you have misled you in terms of how they've tried to portray this. But yeah, look, guys, all I'll say is like, this is what I mean about the XRP community. I'm a part of the XRP community, but this is the kind of stuff that I'm so against, because this is the kind of stuff that people are doing to mislead you, right? It's either that they're doing it purposefully to mislead you because they know it's going to get them a lot of views, or they don't understand what they're talking about themselves. And as I've always said, neither of those options are good, right? Neither of them are good. So as always, be careful who you get your content from. Like, this is just a proposal. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean that that's what's on the cards. Anybody could do it. I could literally make a proposal tomorrow. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay. It's just me putting up my thoughts of what I think could happen and what why I think it could be a good thing. So this has literally got no legs right now. Now we'll see if the SEC, take this on board, or the US government take it on board. But the point I'm making to you is, like, there's nothing to this as it stands. There's literally nothing to this as it stands. So don't like look at this now and think that this is in any way a done deal. Like this isn't anything in that way. But who knows? Like, could it be that the US government do look at this in the future and think that this could be, a good thing? I'll be honest with you. I haven't really gone through the full proposal just because, look, I've seen so many of these things in my time, and a lot of them are really just hype based. Like, a lot of it is just really like a lot of hype stuff that I really don't have time to keep looking at them all, if I'll be honest with you. So maybe at one point I will give it a proper look and see how realistic I think it is. But right now, I've seen this over and over again. And because we're in a bull market, this is the thing. A lot of people just believe this stuff straight away because, the prices are up. So everybody thinks, oh, everything's great. And, anything that's positive is believable because the price is doing so well. So then they start to think like the sky's the limit and beyond, So for me, I just, until I start to see it gain any kind of traction, then maybe I'll give it some proper time. But believe me, I've seen plenty of these. It's the same as when people do the fair market valuations of XRP. Like there was Jimmy Valley who released this fair market valuations, and you had like prices going from like the $500s up to like $500,000 per token. It's absolutely wild, but this is just people's thoughts. It's got nothing to do with anything factual. These are just people giving you their opinions, right? And this is why I don't do price predictions, because to me, nobody knows. Everybody can tell you it's going to go to this price, it's going to go to this price, it's going to go to this price. Nobody knows for sure. So, you know, if I'm going to listen to people, I at least want to feel like there's got a bit of like credibility to it, and I feel like there's a bit of reality to it. If you're telling me that XRP is going to $500,000 a token, I'm not even up for the conversation. I'm just not even willing to have that conversation, because you're just out there. You're just absolutely out there. So at the end of the day, as I say with this, guys, like, don't get too caught up in this right now. Like, there's nothing to it as it stands. If more stuff develops, believe me, I will be sure to update you, and I will be sure to push it, because obviously I would like this stuff to happen. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's not that I'm against it. I just don't like people misleading you and like trying to make out like this is something that's factual when it's not. But look, as I say, we'll see how things go. I'm not even going to say that this is like a positive step, because anybody can do this. So, like, whether the SEC will even take their time to read it, I don't know. You know what I mean? Just because it's on the website doesn't mean that's anything that they're co-signing or anything like that. It's not. So we'll see how this goes. But as it stands right now, just literally treat it as for what it is. It's just someone putting their thoughts out there about what could happen. It's the same as just watching YouTuber videos when they say XRP can go to $10,000 and stuff like that. It's just people putting their opinions out there. That's it. There's no weight to it at all. Like, it's just people putting their opinions forward and, you know, sharing their views. So that's literally all this is. So we'll leave it at that. But as I say, just don't take this at the moment with any kind of credibility, because it's got none whatsoever at the moment as it stands. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell. Take care.